everybody, good evening if you're in the UK, and if you're not, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So this one today is for Morgan, who commented in the group, and sorry, I'm getting loads of Facebook messages popping through. And this one's for Morgan in the group, and also Teresa. I know you've just joined, and Jay. Hello. And I know you actually asked this question similarly the other day, and it was a question of how do we actually find out what our customers want? And I don't know if anybody saw my post as well. It was actually finding out and finding your buyer before you actually have your product. So a lot of people comment yes below if this is you, or send me an emoji if you've done this before. So you sit there and you're sat there thinking, oh my God, what should I do? What should I create? I don't know what my customers want. Should I do this? Should I do that? Does that sort of, feel familiar to you? Are you sat there in that sort of rut where you don't actually know specifically what you should be creating for your customers? And you're sat there, and like Morgan said in his comment, he said, like, I'm just overthinking and I'm not too sure if I'm overthinking it too much. And the method that I teach, so I've created a product called Pro Funnel. And basically, it's all about creating a sales funnel without actually creating your landing page, without creating your offer, your product. And basically, what you have to do, the aim of it is to find out what your users want and then create it based upon what they are looking for. Because if you try and sit there and try and create the product for them, chances are that they're going to be, well, actually, it could go one of two ways. You could actually really hit the jackpot and be in total pot luck. I call that really high risk, and I call that craziness and a really silly way to do business. Or the other option is you can do it the other way, where you actually create something which is more predictable, lower risk, and is exactly what your audience is looking for. So a whole load of emojis came in there, so everybody says they know exactly what I'm on about here. So when you actually have a skill, right? So Teresa mentioned this the other day as well. Sometimes, hi Morgan, thank you for joining. Sometimes you have a skill. And sometimes you think, right, because I have this skill, then I'm just going to offer that. I'm going to create a product around it. And I know it's going to sell because I know I'm good at what I do. And I'm just going to create this product, and I'm going to spend months and months and months creating it. But the truth is that what you're creating, your customers and your audience may not want. And even if it's a product, so even if it was jewelry, and you said, right, I'm going to create a new jewelry line, and I know jewelry sells already, I'm a jeweler, I can make jewelry, obviously it's going to sell. So you spend months and months and months creating, a jewelry product, for example. But what you have to also realize is sometimes, even though something's selling, there may not be a reason to buy from you specifically, and you have to give the user a reason to purchase from you. You've got to build up that trust. So if you just pop up from out of nowhere, you have got a really hard job, especially in a really competitive market. So before you do anything at all, it's always best to do your user research first, to find out from that research what it is your audience want, and then create your product based on that. Because when you do it that way, you know that your product is going to sell. Because you've done a research, you've known from your surveys, your interviews, this is all something that I teach you how to do properly and effectively. And you know from doing this that your users want a specific thing, and you create your product based upon that. So when I first started out, I was always under the impression, so I have, separate to this business, I have a UX design agency, which is where I've made all my money. And when I first started out, I believed I had to niche down. But when I actually started and actually did the research, I found that my audience specifically were not bothered if you hadn't worked in a specific sector before. Because of my skill set was one that could be applied to literally any niche. And actually, the thought process, because UX design is more of the thought process rather than the visual aspect, people just wanted to hire me based upon my analytical abilities, as opposed to the fact that I'd worked in, for example, the travel industry. And this was true just recently. We were pitching for a contract, a really big contract, and it was to a travel company, and I'd done a lot of work in the travel industry before. And they weren't interested whatsoever in that. So sometimes niching down really, really, really small doesn't actually always have that benefit. What you have to do, so a lot of experts out there will go niche down, niche down, niche down, which is true to some extent, but you have to remember they are only guiding you, and that everybody's business is completely different. And until you've done your research, you won't know. So what it's best to do is it's best to do your research thoroughly. Understand what it is your users want. And the way I teach people to do this is I teach them how to create a hook of what you think you want to sell. So you can have 2 or 3, 4, 5 different hooks of the different things that you want to sell, potential offers. Test them, put it out there. Obviously, my cheat sheet is showing you all how to do this at the moment. Put it out there and see what traction and engagement you get. The one that gets the most traction is the one that you should be creating the product for. So don't sit there and wonder, what is it I should be creating? Test the market. When you test the market, you'll be very, very, very surprised. I've literally, and this is why I don't create products first. I find the buyers first and then create the product to fit what the buyers want. I made a whole massive mistake creating a product, spent 6 months building this business, and literally after I built it, I realized I got it all wrong. Because what I did was I built a business based upon what I thought my customers wanted and what I thought from my experience. But remember this, you are only speaking and only can provide knowledge and insight based upon your experience. So you'll find that many other people's experience is very different. For example, I'm the sort of person that if I signed up to a load of different people's platforms and they were sending me loads of emails, I wouldn't read them. That's me personally. So if I was going to listen to myself, I would say, well, I don't read them, so I'm not going to create any newsletters. I'm not going to send out any sort of promotional things or email because I don't read them personally. Well, what a massive mistake that would be if I listened to myself. So I'm teaching you how to become an expert in understanding your users. We are building a product based around our users and what our users want. And when we've done this, we've tested the water, we've not spent any money, it's now predictable because we're going, oh my God, that one hook, people are inboxing me saying, Claire, how do you do this? How do you do that? And you're going, oh my God, this is what people want. And you'll get that sort of like butterfly feeling because you're like, shit, I've not got a product. I've not got a product that actually can cater to these people's needs. But how amazing, because you know there's a demand there. So I always find the demand and I always find out what it is people are wanting before I actually create a product. But a step that goes before that is you might want to do some user research. So hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed, which anybody who's messaged me in the past 24, 48 hours, I've been saying, please bear with me, because what I'm in the process of doing is I'm creating an online portal where the LinkedIn cheat sheet, the Facebook cheat sheet will all be broken down into like training, and will be on this online portal so you can access both, and it's constantly accessible. And you're going to be able to, and I've added a few more bits in there as well on user research, because user research is literally everything that you need to learn. You don't need to be an expert. You can be a complete beginner at this with no knowledge. And as long as you know how to work with users to understand what it is that they want, you will have no problem at all creating a very, very successful business. And that's what I'm good at. I'm like totally great at working with users and creating exactly what it is that they want. So Teresa, you said you think you've missed a Facebook cheat sheet. That's absolutely fine, because what I'm going to do, I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads in my Facebook Messenger. I've literally people I've spoken to over the past couple of days, and I'm going to go back through and I'm going to send everybody. So hopefully I won't miss you, unless, well, I shouldn't miss you, but if I do miss you, please let me know, and I'm really sorry. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to share this link with everybody. It's completely free. You're going to access to it. So if you've already got the LinkedIn cheat sheet, you'll already have the information on there. The LinkedIn cheat sheet, there are no more copies. Facebook cheat sheet, no more copies. You will, however, get access to the training, which some of that information from the cheat sheet has been extracted into this now online portal with some additional user research bits. However, if you already have the cheat sheet already, the full comprehensive cheat sheet for the LinkedIn especially, that is yours to keep forever, and there is a ton load of value in that. So I really do hope that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions just while I'm online? I'll just give you a moment if anybody's got any questions about what we've talked about the offer, understanding what your customers want. And I really want you to all kind of understand that you don't need to know everything. You don't actually need to know anything. You just need to know how to talk to your users. And that's it. It's so straightforward. And I am the queen of simplicity. So I buy other people's training programs so I can literally see what it is that they're doing. And what I've found is, whoa, how many people are overcomplicating it. Doing research at the moment. Amazing. So when I send you the link, hopefully that'll be helpful to you to do some a little bit more research. But research is literally the thing that you're going to need to be able to do to kickstart it. Then you create your hook. You're constantly testing. Literally, you can change, you might change your idea like that. And that is why there's no point creating a product, because one thing that is always certain in life is that things do change. Nothing stays the same. So don't waste your time trying to be really OCD or perfectionist, trying to create something that your audience may not want. So I hope that makes sense. And yes, also, I've got some more amazing news. So on the 14th of February, I chose that date because it's Valentine's Day and I thought everybody would remember this. I am opening the doors. I'm launching the next lead generation online course, and it's called 6 Figures Traffic Accelerator. So people who have been online and looked at my stuff, had my cheat sheets, whatever, you've got kind of like the basic knowledge now, and you've already kind of took off with that. You're making a little bit of progress. It's people who literally want to accelerate and really want to become a lead generation expert themselves and really want to accelerate the process. So I'm opening the doors for the first handful of people. It might be only over a 24, 48-hour period that I do this. I'm literally offering over £10,000 worth of value for next to nothing. So it won't be free, but it's going to be really, really great price. So please let me know if you do want to look over that and you are interested and you obviously want to make sales this year. So think of that. So I like to tell people, oh my God, right? If all you have to buy this year is like my course, which is like next to nothing in cost, and you're saving how much money on ads, and you're getting like sales, you're building like a 6-figure business with like this. I built my business literally, and never spent any money so far on advertising, never. So the best way to start would be testing with a variety of hooks, engaging traction. Absolutely spot on. Yes, that is exactly what you need to do. Gauge the traction first. See what it is, see what's working and what's not working. When you actually find that you've put a hook out there and your audience are like, oh my God, you should find when you do this, you get a load of traction. People start inboxing you like, how do you do that? Morgan, tell me how you do this. Have you got a cheat sheet on this? Have you got that? Your users will guide you through that process. So you don't need to worry about it. All you need to do is figure out how to create a hook and play around with it. And you literally can do that yourself. Of course, I can, in the online training platform, and those of you who've got a cheat sheet so far, I show you the 3 ways to create a hook. So there's 3 ways that you would need to create a hook, and you can test them 3 ways for each different hook that you want to write, if that makes sense. So you can literally just put it out there, see what happens, see who's interested. And you'll literally, it will be one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, I should just be doing this. A lot of people tend to ignore what people are asking for. So literally go out there, find your buyers, then start to create your sales funnel process. So my course for my sales funnel is also launching in April, and I teach you this exact method in detail, because a lot of accuracy to this. So I'm obviously just skimming things over. Okay, that does make sense. Great. Yeah, I'm just kind of skimming over things. But also I want you to remember that you get 1 chance with each person who lands in your inbox. You get 1 chance. If you mess that up, that's a lead that is gone and you won't get that one back. So I teach the accuracy on this and the specific type of formula. Also with lead generation, I developed something called the 9 laws of lead generation. And it's 9 principles that you will always need to stick to when you're actually generating leads. Hopefully that was helpful to you all. So yeah, send me a message if you're interested in actually becoming a lead generation expert and you actually want leads, more leads than you know what to do with. And that is no word of a lie. This is why I take a little bit of time to get back to people. I am inundated with leads all the time, more than I know what to do with. And I have an assistant who helps me out as well with those leads. We always do get back to people, but we are just inundated with that many people who just want to find out more, which is amazing. So I'm going to leave it at that tonight. I'm going to go grab some more water because I don't drink enough. And hopefully you've all had a great new year. And if you're anything like me today, I've started healthy eating regime because I have something very exciting happening in 8 weeks, but I will tell you more about that on another video. I can't disclose that yet. So something very exciting is happening in 8 weeks time, and I need to be really, really healthy between now and then. So okie dokie, so see you later.